Hello guys, welcome back to Beyond the Realms. I am Jason and this is...
The Headbanger.
Yo, yes indeed. Headbanger all the way from New York. Teleported in as we mentioned before. I don't know
Representing HORRORSBALL.
That's right. Monumental moment here on YouTube. Today we are going to talk about the Days of the Dead convention, which just happened here in Indianapolis.
It did.
Yeah, and you had a long ass drive.
We about 8.5 hours approximately.
Yeah.
A long, hot, humid drive.
Oh God.
Woo!
We broke a record today, like 104 degrees, I believe is what it ended up being.
It was 110 on our way here, right?
Yeah, and the car said 110. Yeah, just ridiculous. But yeah, we're gonna start things off here with a beer.
Hot like us, Jason.
Exactly.
It was as humid as
eye cavities.
Eye cavities.
Right.
Yeah. Or as we said, eye tumors.
We are causing eye tumors this evening, so be careful.
So tonight we are going to be trying out Founder's Dirty Bastard, which I've already had.
We are dirty bastards, aren't we?
Yeah,
as the ladies call us.
We can't really sit here and fake this and act like this is our first time, because I already had it and he's already had one tonight, so fuck it. You know, we're feeling good. We're having a good time.
Chars.
Chars. Shit's delicious, man.
It's like butter.
In a bottle, in a fucking glass, whatever. So, alright, yeah, we're buzzing. So, if this sucks, then fuck you.
Feeling good.
Yeah. So, yeah, we had to, I think we both need to say first off, thank you, Adolfo Dorta, for giving us fucking press passes to the show. We both have press passes. And really awesome. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got Clark Kent right on the front. Fucking
he was
amazing,
in the press.
Man. Yeah. Fucking amazing.
So it's relevant.
It's great. So,
yeah, thank you, Adolfo. Awesome guy.
Yes, really cool guy. Good show.
Very well run. This was my first Days of the Dead.
Yes, I went to the one last year. I had a convention report up on the old Beyond the Realms page, which got deleted, unfortunately. But, this is my second show. This is your first show. And actually, I had to, unfortunately, work all day today, so I only got to be at the convention for a few hours. Now, Headbanger here showed up on Friday, and you spent the majority of your time at the convention on Friday. So I guess I'll let you start this off. What was your first impression?
It was fantastic. The first thing I think was how it was set up.
Amazing.
We actually got there.
Layout.
Yeah, the layout was fantastic. We actually got there. We're autograph hounds, and we got in there. We actually, after we did our business, because we're very methodical and professional with our signature seeking, but we actually looked at each other like, where's the vendor room? Like, they gotta have a vendor room.
Yeah.
The cool thing is they keep it completely separate from the, where the celebrities are, and it's like actually in a completely different room down a completely different hall. So it's, as far as the deal with the crowds, it's perfect the way they had it set up. All the celebrities are in one area, 2 different rooms, which gave you a lot of room to meet people, and then completely down a different hallway, you had the big vendor room. So I love the layout of it. It's fantastic.
And it's like, last year where they had like a lot of the independent artists, they had that split off. Like half of it was the Nightmare on Elm Street museum thing, and then the other half was the independent artists, where this year it was completely opened up and it was all mainly the independent people, and then the other guests. And then you had in the other littler place, they had like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all those guys. It was mainly Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And they kind of had a separate room just for them, basically.
Yeah, and see, cool. Last year they had like all the big celebrities crammed into that room, and then they had like the independent room, and then the Nightmare on Elm Street museum. This year, I thought the layout was a lot better how they had it. They changed it up a little bit. It was just a good fluid motion throughout the whole thing. I thought the layout was way better this year. They had it. It was just better.
Yeah, layout was fantastic.
Yeah,
definitely.
So what do you think of the vendors?
Vendors, it wasn't as extensive as other conventions I've been to, but it's still a young convention that's still getting its footing. So I'm sure they'll gain. There's certain vendors that weren't there that I usually see, like Diabolic DVD or Synapse. So maybe those vendors are kind of still
Synapse
waiting
was a big one.
to see them. But you had great people, of course, Toe Tag, You had VHSPS, which were both big supporters of, which will probably show what you got. But so you had some staples, but there were some also regulars that you didn't see that you're used to seeing that maybe will jump on board as years progress. But it definitely, I think they have a great future ahead of them, and the vendor room was definitely adequate. I could have easily spent more money than I did. But
oh yeah, man. I mean, you know, being the third show, like their first show was here in Indianapolis last year. Then they did a show in Atlanta in March, and now this show, and then they have shows coming up in Chicago,
LA,
and Los Angeles,
which is a big deal. Obviously.
Yeah, and then I'm sure they'll do another show here. So yeah, I mean, you know, it is a newer show, and you know, the thing that I noticed, you know, I wasn't there a lot tonight, you know, like I said, which is very unfortunate, but it didn't seem like the crowd was quite as strong as it was last year. Like, I know Saturday, like of last year, the entire day, it was just complete madness.
Typically, Saturday is a lot more intense.
And you know, granted, I can't say much because we didn't arrive until like 4:30 on Saturday, but it seemed pretty thin. And like from everybody that I talked to, it seemed like it was pretty thin throughout the day. But the people I talked to were not complaining about that because you could move along more freely, whereas other shows you get so cramped, you're like, you know what, man, this is cool, but this sucks. Let's get out of here.
It may have seemed thinner because of how well they did with the layout.
Yeah.
Well, that's true too. When I came out Saturday morning, there was a very long line. Like it was through the lobby, almost into the parking lot.
That's awesome. So, I'm glad to see them do that good.
So I think the crowd probably wasn't as big as maybe they would have liked, but I think definitely the layout, you know, attributed to I think some of how well people can move around. So. Yeah, that's a testament to how they had it set up, and
because it was like, you know, you go in that one room and you had several different ways of getting out of there. It wasn't just one way in, one way out. Last year it was kind of like that, and it did kind of restrict the flow of things. And you know, despite it being like 104, 105 degrees outside, it was a little warm in there, but that's just because it's so hot out. You can't. It's hard to keep.
You get
shit
people,
cool,
and you get a lot of hot air in there.
Yeah, and then plus you got people going in and out of the exits all day long. So I mean, that's hot air coming in and out. But when I got in there, I was surprised how cool it was.
I stayed there, so like as far as like if you were to stay there, the rooms were fantastic.
Yeah,
you know, it was. When you get back to your room, you're cooled down. It's very.
That's a great hotel. The
It was a great
really
hotel.
Awesome, man.
It was.
Yeah, I really like it a lot. Like. You know, I know Horror Hound has a really good hotel, Marriott East, but this hotel is equally as good, as my opinion. Like, I really love how the rooms, like where they're at, like just the layout's perfect. I think
it was, and to get people out there who, I mean, you know, my wife and I drive 8+ hours to get here, and it's, I mean, you know, it's worth it.
Yeah,
you know, it really is. It's a well-run convention. I'd definitely love to go to another Days of the Dead.
Yeah.
Totally worth the drive. It really, you could tell they're young. I think honestly, the only problem I had with the whole convention was they had some film panels, some cast panels, and typically when you go to a convention, when you get your ticket, you go through. You usually will get some type of program or pamphlet with kind of like the events. They didn't do that. I guess they had a stack of some on the ticket table, but they weren't really. They were kind of like doing it upon request, I guess, which is kind of odd. So
it would have been better if they kind of handed.
Yeah, I had no idea when anything was going on. There's actually, I caught a portion of. There was a great panel with Jorg, Lawrence Harvey from Human Centipede 2, and actually Fred Vogel was a part of it. I got to some of that. Really cool. There was also one with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre cast, and it was like in the afternoon. I didn't know what it was. So as far as the communication of where things were, I know they had a karaoke thing. So it was kind of like word of mouth, or maybe you were to go on the website. But when you go to a convention, you'd like to have some type of, itinerary for that's kind of standard. So that's one of those little details.
It just would have been better if you pay for your ticket or you pay for your weekend pass, or you get your
get the
pass.
schedule.
Here you go.
So that would be one little. That would literally be my only complaint on the whole thing that I noticed.
So I mean, I guess we'll get into some of the things I purchased here. Like Headbanger doesn't have his stuff here, but if you want to mention anything you brought up, picked up, I had a limited amount of money, but I think for the limited amount that I came out with some really cool stuff. The first thing I wanted to show here is this was actually released on Fred Vogel's birthday. This is a limited print that's like, I guess you would call it an embossed or raised letter. I'm not even sure, like a what do you call this? I mean,
it's got that puffy feel to it.
Yeah, that's why I said embossed, but that's not really the right wording, I guess. But anyway, this is limited to only 44 prints. Fred actually signed this and gave it to me. This like totally surprised me, which is awesome. It's really cool. It says, "To Jason, keep spreading the sickness." He explained this as being like his tribute to Dawn of the Dead, which when you hear that, it totally makes sense.
Amazing.
You know, even the lettering and everything, all of the films that he's made, it's just really great. Very limited print. Really cool. Thank you very much, Fred. This is awesome. Fred and Toe Tag, I can't say enough about those guys. And then here's a shirt that I purchased from them. I'm a big fan of the Red Cent Tower.
Red Cent Tower, awesome.
And here's a shirt that they made all in blue. I love the new type of lettering they put on there. I really love this shirt. I love the film. So, you know, I have, you know, several Toe Tag shirts, but never had a Red Cent Tower shirt, so I picked that up.
That's the type of stuff you can get at conventions. You
Yeah,
can't get that stuff anywhere else.
Yeah. And then, of course, you know, he brought up the VHSPS, which stands for VHS Preservation Society, which they only put out films that are still only on VHS. Like if it's out on DVD, they pull it from their shelf. They don't put it out anymore. So I totally support them. Yes, it is bootleg, but you can't find this shit on DVD. So basically what they're doing is they're taking their VHS and porting it over to DVD with the exact artwork, scanned artwork, put onto a DVD. It's just amazing.
They have menus. The DVDs have menus.
Yes.
They have music. I mean,
they really go out. I mean, I don't see how, you know, if you're a fan of films, that you cannot support this, because these are basically lost films. These are films that don't have a home on DVD. I mean, VHS, yes, it's a niche market. You know, people still collect them, but it's way gone. You know, and unless these films are released like this, you know, they're basically carrying them on. Is what
if you're
doing.
a diehard horror fan, honestly, guys, I said this before on my show. It's a must to go on this website.
Yeah,
I'll put a link to it. VHSPS.com. I mean, these guys.
Yes, because they do have a website also. You can
$10
a
piece. Shipping's very cheap. You'll get it in a couple days. Like he said, they scan the actual artwork from these guys. They don't scan this from online. They have these films.
Yes, it's from the VHS. I'm going to show you.
They have every film that they sell. They own it. It's two brothers.
Yeah.
They own it themselves on VHS, and they just take the scan and they print. So they put a lot of work into it. So these guys are diehard VHS horror fans, and so they don't go online and like try to find the artwork. They scan it from what they own.
Scanned.
So this is the actual to the spine. When I saw the spine, I mean, it's exact.
So the ones that I got,
bootleg, but it's.
But it's not. I mean, yeah, exactly, because it's complete pure intentions of carrying on these films that have been forgotten.
They want you to see these films, and I reviewed some on my show, and
and we've talked about
Jason's a big fan of these films. I mean, Slaughterhouse, you wanted that from quite some. Look at that cover. I mean, it's all about the artwork.
So yeah, Slaughterhouse and I Was a Teenage Zombie, which I've never seen this film. I've never seen either one, but I had two guys. There was two guys I was talking to there that was just going on and on about this. I had a very good conversation with them, and you know, after talking with them and then looking at these images on the back, you know, I love the cheesy films, just like, you know, Lucia Finchi, you know, and you enjoy, you know, I enjoy the cheese. So I had to pick this up. I mean, look at that fucking
shadow right there.
I mean, just unbelievable. It's awesome.
It's all about
this
the
one,
artwork.
I've heard the same thing. Like Crazy has went on and on about this. I've heard many great things. I'm sure I'm going to love it. So, you know, I went for the cheddar. I had to get these films, and you know, you just have to respect these guys. And you know, like today when I texted him when I was still at work, that's one of the things that I asked, like, is VHSPS there? That's one of the first things. And I even told them, I was like, man, you know, I was hoping most of all out of all the vendors that you guys would be here, because, you know, the booth is just awesome. I mean, they use
the old school, like, wired racks.
Yeah, exactly, man. It looks like what you would look at when you go into a VHS.
Store.
And then they have a big, like you'll see in one of my recap videos here, they have the big neon sign video. You know,
they have the TV there too, where you can actually put in the DVD if you want to watch it to make sure the quality
really
is cool.
See, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, really cool. I mean, these guys, honestly, you guys are big horror fans. Go to the website,
check them
out.
If
you can make a convention, support these guys. $10 a movie. These are movies you can't get on DVD. You have, like you said, you have a menu, really cool menu. It's not just like you pop it in and it starts playing. Cool menu. If there was a trailer on the original VHS, those trailers are on the actual
they'll
DVD.
all be on there. All of the original, logos and everything.
Yep.
And
Finchie and I have a VHSPS night like once a month.
That's awesome.
So cool. Yeah, I mean,
and the thing is too, they just. I don't know, man. They're just great, because when all of the biggest films, like you look at like Night of the Creeps, Monster Squad, that's ones that took forever to get on DVD. Like those are the big ones. But when you go and look at their list of films, you realize like, damn, that's never had a VHS.
Can't believe that that's not.
It would really surprise you at the ones that still haven't had an actual DVD release once you start looking at their list.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, VHSPS, we both
the point
highly
is,
support
it's
them.
another example of the type of people that are at conventions. Honest people that the vendors that are at conventions are die-hard horror fans, not just guys that are trying to make some, obviously trying to make some money, but they're really a lot of really
they have a good
cool,
passion for
exactly,
it.
really they're horror fans.
Yeah, they have their heart in the right place for it.
Exactly.
So, the next one I picked up here, which... Headbanger, and of course, David Zombie Food 2 has went on and on about. And I picked up the Blu-ray, being, the Blu-ray freak here, of Dear God No. Which, you did watch this, right?
I have. I haven't done a review on it yet. I will.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, if you're into low-budget, trashy, extreme cinema, and those guys, you went to the table.
Okay,
this isn't a joke, what's on here. they live that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because the director, I don't even know his name because I just met him tonight when I bought this. Okay, I go up to his table, I buy this and a DVD version of it. Fred talked about it, Fred's a cool friend, so I bought Fred a copy of this. So I bought the Blu-ray and a DVD, and, he's like, yeah, man, cool. He gave me this poster, which I'll show you here in a second. He's like, they were waiting for the guy to come down that had the little attachment for the iPhone where they can scan your card. They were waiting for him to come down to the room. He's like, hey, man, you want a shot? I'm like, sure. So he just hand me the whole fucking bottle. Just goom, goom, goom. I'm like, damn, woo.
That's a convention right there.
Exactly, man.
Filmmakers handing you shots.
Yes. A complete stranger just met him. Just cool-ass guy. Just, here, man, you want a shot? Just hand me the bottle. It was awesome. Totally cool guy. He did an intro for my page, which it may be on this video. I don't know, but you're going to see it at some point. But yeah, I'm really anxious to check this out. It just looks like so much fun. It looks like a grindhouse throwback style. Is that what it is? Because
definitely a cornucopia of various genres.
Yeah. It looks sweet. I know there's a Bigfoot in this, right?
There is.
Because one of the guys I met at the table plays this Bigfoot they show here. So, yeah, I'll show you real quick this one sheet that they just gave me.
I will say this, because I know different people have different thoughts of this film. To me, I think the artwork, unfortunately, is the best part of this film.
Yeah.
Artwork-wise, you show them this poster. This artwork it's kind of like Hope with a Shotgun type.
Hold that side up.
This poster is amazing.
Yeah.
Kind of Hope with a Shotgun type artwork, throwback.
There's nudity on here, so if I get, red flag, then whatever. But yeah, check that out.
That artwork is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Really cool. They gave me $5 off on my purchase. They gave me this one sheet for free. So, totally
Great
cool
guys. They love PBR.
Yeah, and they talked about that too. We talked a little bit about Wasteland. They loved Wasteland. So, yeah, really cool. I'm anxious to check this out. I'm sure I'll probably review it.
Regardless of how you feel about this film, it's something you want to support.
Yeah, exactly. 80 minutes long, to me, that's perfect for this type of film. Without even seeing it, I already know. Because it says bikers, bullets, boobs, blood, beer, and Bigfoot. Holy shit. I'm sure I'm going to love it. So, yeah, Dear God No, that was one of my purchases. And then the very last one that I purchased this is actually a film I just reviewed from Jab Pictures. This is The Collective Volume 4. And actually, when I went to buy this, Jason was like, man, why are you buying this? I sent you a copy. It's because I support independent cinema. Because, man, you know what? These guys really put all into it, man. These guys, just like Jason says, man, and it's true, he's chasing the dream. I got to support these guys. I'm going to give them my money. You know,
another great thing about conventions, you have the opportunity to meet these people and you can buy their film. You know, it's an opportunity to support. The things we complain about as horror fans, I think horror fans can kind of be kind of snooty, which we brought up on your roundtable. But here's a chance you get at conventions. You get really honest people. You get to meet these filmmakers, and they're not there. I mean, there's no agenda. They're there because they love it. They have to pay to be there to set up their table.
A lot of times, big bucks.
Yeah,
man.
To set up their table, and like, this is something like I want to support. You know, regardless, you may not end up liking the film, but you have. Like you said, it's just you already had a screener.
Yeah.
But you want to have it on your shelf in the correct pace.
Like, you know,
you want to support it. I mean, these guys are doing this for the love of the genre. This is what's going to keep the genre alive.
Yeah, and
stuff
see,
like this.
And the main thing, you know, with the Jab Pictures and these collectives, like I've said in my reviews, but I'm going to say it here in case you haven't watched the reviews, is, you know, they're giving the independent filmmakers a voice here, where, you know, you may have this independent filmmaker who's made this awesome film, but he doesn't know how to get it out there. He doesn't have the right way to promote it. He doesn't have the money to set up a table at a convention or release it on DVD. You know, he may just be burning a copy for his friends here or there, but this is a way to give them a voice, to get it out there, to let it be seen. And man, that's why I love Jab Pictures, man, because, you know, this is a fine example of why they are an awesome independent company, because, you know, they're giving so many people a voice. You know, this is the fourth one. You got 10 filmmakers on each one. Oh man, the talent's unbelievable, because whether or not you like the whole thing, I guarantee you out of these 4 volumes, you're going to find ones that you absolutely love. And I commend Jab Pictures for that, because this is something totally unique. You know, I mean, they're really, instead of like, you know, being at a convention and saying, look at that guy over there, our film's better than that. Jab is bringing all these motherfuckers together and saying, hey, you know, let's make this film together. You know, let's all have one voice, an independent voice. You know, and I love it, man. I think it's a really
it's the heartbeat of the
thing,
genre.
You know?
I mean, this is what keeps Shelby Vogel is involved with the last one.
Exactly, yeah. She's on volume 3. Yeah. And our good friend Crazy's on volume 2.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, really great stuff, guys. I'm happy to
It's
have
as
this.
honest as it gets.
Yes, exactly. And I know they have at least one more in the works coming up, so stay tuned for that. So, yes, guys, that is all of my purchases, which for the limited amount of money I had, I mean...
You were only there for a few hours, and look at the type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was a whirlwind. You know, we got there, and it's like, we walked through, I saw everybody I know, and it's like, hey, hello, talking, this and that. Then I go through my film, and I go back and I try to buy all this stuff. It was like whirlwind 3 hours. That's all I was there, but I love the convention. I think Days of the Dead has gotten better since last year. Just for the little bit of time I was able to be there, I can already tell that it's really gotten better. And, you know, I really made it a point to go around and ask, you know, not only all of my friends, which I have several there, but just people in general, like, what do you think? You know, and everybody was happy at this show. You know,
there was a great vibe to the show.
Yeah.
Like the atmosphere was really positive.
It might have been a little bit smaller show, or at least seemed that way, like you said. Maybe it was the layout. I don't know numbers or anything, but it seemed like a little bit less. But regardless, I think everybody there was happy. Even the vendors, like, you know, some of my vendor friends I talked to, everybody was having a good
Celebrities
time.
too, like
yeah.
We met a lot of people. I brought a little headbanger with us. Great time. Everyone, just the overall vibe of this con was really positive.
Yeah.
And for a young convention, that's awesome. We had some big names here. Lamberto Bava.
Oh man, that's yes.
You had met him before. I never met him before.
Yeah. Right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
I mean, the overall atmosphere of this convention was absolutely fantastic. And to bring it up before we close, just meeting people. I had someone come up to me who was a fan of HORRORSBALL, and he had said, I apologize, I don't remember your name, but if you're watching, he had mentioned to me this was his first convention ever.
Yeah.
And he had watched my convention reports, and he was from Chicago, and he drove in, and he looked like he was there with his girlfriend or spouse, and he was just having a great time.
Yeah.
And like overall, like you said, the general feel to the convention was very positive.
Yeah.
And like you said, just to give you guys an example, it's worth going to a convention if you're a big time horror fan. You meet people.
Oh, man.
If you're any at all in the vicinity of driving, like I said, we drive all the time, 6-8 hours. It's totally worth it. You meet these independent filmmakers.
Yeah.
You make friends. I want to
even
say
if you don't know anybody beforehand, you're going to meet people there regardless.
Exactly. I want to get a shout out to Justin, Ryan, 1988, who I met for the first time. Justin Chars, really cool talking to you. I know you didn't get a chance to see him.
It sucks because Justin, I know you may be watching this, but I purposely was looking around like, damn, where's Justin? And I don't have his number, so it's like, and like I said, only being there 3 hours, it was a short amount of time, so it sucks I didn't get to meet you, but it's coming up.
You meet people, you meet new friends.
Yes,
I have people come up to me who enjoy the show. It's just an awesome time. It's a big family, it really is. People say that all the time, but you really get that feel.
Yeah.
It's like the high school reunion you wish you had.
And one other thing we have to bring up, we kind of talked about, personally earlier, is, it seems like Day of the Dead is starting to get their own little niche. Like, this is only their third show. I think it's trying to find, there's so many shows out there.
Conventions have gotten bigger over
Yeah,
years.
man, and there's so many everywhere now. And it's like trying to find your footing and have your own voice. Like, it seems like Days of the Dead is starting to kind of get that. Like, with bringing in York and bringing in Bava,
John Waters,
and John Waters,
I'm a big fan of. They're
bringing in a lot of these underground guys that are really respected, that aren't brought in much. And York, this is his first American convention.
I think it was his second.
Was it second?
Yeah, so second ever. Even European,
really
second ever. Yeah.
So it's extremely rare, and it's really cool because they're bringing in these obscure guests, and then you also have Texas Chainsaw Massacre reunion, which that's been done a lot, but not here, not in Indianapolis, which that does make a difference, So they're bringing in some of your mainstream people. They tried to bring in Derek Mears. There was a death in his family that couldn't happen. They brought in, the one guy I want to bring up. What was his name? I can't even think of his name. Is it Ian? I want to think. The guy who was in Prometheus, and he also did the Clash of the Titans remake, which I really wanted his autograph because I love Prometheus. But it's cool because, modern films like that, you bring in the mainstream guests and you bring in York, they're kind of finding their voice in that, I think, where it's kind of getting in with that underground vibe. It's just
Patty
right
Mullen, I have to bring up, who played Frankenhooker.
Yes. First Midwest appearance.
Yeah, I loved meeting her. She was absolutely amazing. I mean, talk about cult. That epitomizes. I mean, Frankenhooker, you guys out there, big fan of that film. I mean, if you love, Basket Case, Frank had a lot of movies. Getting the actual Frankenhooker herself. Me, to quickly bring up, when we met her, I said to her as we were getting a picture taken, she was like groping me. I thought she was going to start making out with me, which would have been amazing. But she actually, I said, you were amazing in this film.
That right there.
I said to her, I was like, I thought your performance was amazing.
It was great, man.
As Mrs. Headbanger was giving us a picture, she's like, really?
Yeah.
Like, she seemed genuinely surprised that, that's what's great about these people. I brought up Al Cliver in the past.
Yeah.
These people who we would assume already know how much we appreciate them, they really don't. And she seemed honestly, genuinely surprised that I thought her performance was great in this film. A moment like that, I mean, this isn't bullshit. She was genuine.
It pays for itself.
It is. It's amazing. An experience
that's
like that.
That's what makes it worth it. You know?
Exactly. She really was surprised that here's people 20 years later coming up to her saying that, with their posters or whatever you have, and she was genuinely, I mean, she looked like she wanted to make out with them. Which is surprising. But had my wife not been taking the picture, I might have gone along with it.
Well, then maybe she just would have snapped more. Maybe. Maybe.
But anyway, honestly, it was genuine, just, gratification. She was really honored that, we appreciate a little film like that. That 20 years later, here's people lined up. So it's moments like that that really make it. And it's cool that Days of the Dead they get people, like you said, a mix of... Yeah,
and bringing in the guests like that haven't done the shows and haven't become jaded. I'm not saying all become jaded, but I'm not going to mention any names, but I've met certain guests that, were at the beginning of their convention career like this, and then saw them a couple years later, and you kind of say something similar to what you said because that's really how you feel. Yeah, but then they're just kind of jaded because they've heard it so much. So it's cool that they bring in these guests that, haven't done the conventions at all, or at least just a little bit. So I really commend Days of the Dead on, they're starting to find their footing, I think. And I think it's going to be a good thing to come up for the convention circuit for them. Yeah. So yeah, guys, I think we both agree Days of the Dead was a great time. It was a great success. We both had an awesome
time. Go to a
time.
convention.
Yes. You know, it doesn't matter where you're at in the country. You know, you may have to travel
There'll be
8 hours, 10 hours possibly, but I'm telling you, if you go to a convention, you're going to love it. It's something you'll never forget, especially if you've never been to one. It's just like first time having sex, man. First time popping that cherry. You're never going to forget it. You're never going to forget it.
I'm rubbing off on you. That was a great analogy.
Yeah, man. I mean, like,
it's very sexual experience. And you may be disappointed. You may not perform the way you would have liked.
And you may be a little...
You learn from it. The first convention I went to, you know, something happened a little quicker than I would have expected it to.
It does. You know, you get
so
that.
It may take a couple of conventions for you to get your, you know.
Yeah, you get that sensation overload, like.
Exactly. Don't be alarmed by that. That's natural.
It does, yes, but it's something I guarantee you're never gonna forget.
By the fourth convention, you'll be.
Yeah, you'll be hitting your rhythm, hitting your stride, be able to last a little longer.
Exactly.
You know, all that stuff. So, yeah. Well, man, I appreciate you being here.
This has been an absolute honor.
Here on my set.
I hope I did this set justice.
We got a set one more time. Charles.
Crazy J.
Yes. So, guys, I appreciate you watching. That is Days of the Dead. We both give our seal of approval, no question. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.
For Beyond the Realms.
Yes, I'm Jason.
For HORRORSBALL, I'm the Headbanger. See you next time.
Later, guys.